Everybody, and happy Easter. I'm surrounded by green. This is the time of the old pagan New Year when new life starts to pop up everywhere. And I'm going to do something that some people might find offensive or sacrilegious, and for that I'm not going to apologise because actually it's the whole point. So, talking about, in broad terms, the message of Christ, which you can interpret however is appropriate to you, Christ consciousness, whatever. I'm not going to assume your beliefs, but the general principle is that wherever you've got, whatever situation you've got yourself into, that there is hope and that you can restore yourself with the universe. And I'm going to link this to the product that I'm promoting and that I get compensated for promoting. For this, I do not apologise. Because there's something right at the core of all of this. And it's a challenge for me. I'm very much challenged right now. And it's a challenge for all of us, which is we're at a crossroads. We can choose to believe in the possibility of new life, or we can choose to accept what the world says. Now, what the world says is that as you get older, you're going to get sick. Aging, degeneration, this is unavoidable. You will get chronic conditions like diabetes, coronary heart disease, etc., 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 aching joints, aching body, all of it. It's unavoidable, it's irreversible, it is your destiny. You're going to feel slow, you're going to get stupider, you're going to lose your mental faculty. Now, I believe that fundamentally goes against natural law, divine law. And the fixed product absolutely links in to all of this. Why? Because the promise of this is that it instructs your body it's okay to heal. We are living in a world where the default narrative is that it's your job to get sick and to slow down and to degenerate. I don't believe that's true. I believe in new life. I believe in resurrection, if you like. And without going into any details or making any promises, the reason for that is because I'm seeing it all around. Now, I've said before that there are really three essential steps, or three essential things that all have to be in place in order for you to heal, slow aging, or even reverse chronic conditions. And they are, first of all, to believe. Believe that it is your divine design to live an abundant life in every sense, right? If you don't believe that, then you're not going to take the actions that you need to take the steps in order to manifest that, right? You're going to be living under the cloud of the default narrative, and you're going to get the wages of that, right? Yes, you need proper nutrition. So the way I like to think of it is the repair yard needs to be stocked up with all the materials you need for repair. Okay, fair enough. And the third thing is that you need the time. The repair work needs to be done, which means the repairers, which is built into all of your body, you are a self-healing being. The repairers need to show up for work, and they need time to get the repairs done. And ancestrally, you would have been in that mode repairing for more than half of your life. These days, because we live under so much stress, and that's primarily because of the belief, there's all kinds of other things. There's, of course, toxic food, environmental toxins, but I think the number one is this stress that we live under, chronic stress, and that is not the way you are designed to live. So when you're in that, your cortisol goes up, it knocks you into the sympathetic nervous state and out of the parasympathetic nervous state, and there, deep healing does not happen. Okay, I've covered all of this in previous videos. So you're at a crossroads. What are you going to choose? Because I'm here putting myself out there. There are thousands of others out in the world right now doing the same, saying, we've got this God-given plant extract products. And look, me, carnivore, promoting plant extracts, right? I have to suck it up. Okay? It's plant extract that tells your body go into deep healing for up to 9.5 hours. You take it, your body goes into deep healing. We are seeing incredible results. The question for you is, do you believe in new life? Because if you do, then you can take the steps. You can say, yes, I believe that an abundant, energetic, healthful life is my birthright. And I'm going to step up and take it. So you can contact me. You can try the product. You can see how well it works for you. And we've got, I mean, the thing is, this only came out literally in the United States in June 2024. So it's not even been out for a year. The formulation has been known since, well, the original discovery was in the 1950s, but it was so prohibitively expensive, like $1 million a gallon to make. Nobody got to try it, really. And then there was a new patent in 2010, filed by 3 Japanese scientists. And then there's now a much more efficient way of producing it, which means it can go out to the market. And I'm so grateful that it is out on the market, because people are literally transforming their lives. But the first step of that is, I believe that I'm worth it. I'm not going to have the livestock herbivore mentality that just, oh, you know, this is my head down. This is my my fate to degenerate, to slow down, and all of these things. No, I don't believe that. I can't change your belief. I can't tell you what to think. I can tell you what I think. And I think that my body is healing right now because I've had my fix today. I take it twice a day. I take it during the day, and then I take it again before I sleep. I know that my body is healing. I know now, after 6 or 7 weeks on the product, that the visceral fat is melting away. I mean, I felt the psychological effects immediately, instantly. The negative self-talk dropped down. The volume went all the way down on that, which is amazing for ADHD. But talking to Dr. Ben Bowers last weekend, because he's been using this with hundreds of patients and observing it very carefully, and he says there's a sequence that he's observed, which is, first of all, inflammation being addressed. Inflammation being the main cause of heart disease, among lots of other things. This is basically, it's a sign of metabolic disorder, metabolic breakdown. And then after that, it goes into detoxification, and that can produce symptoms of its own. So, again, it all comes back to trust the process. Trust it. Trust your body. Trust your creator. Trust your design. The third step then is, as he described it, cancer prevention. So the clearing out of potentially dodgy cells, which takes time. You need the healing time. And then finally, the fourth step is the melting away of the visceral fat, which can be toxic, that excess visceral fat around your organs. Some people say, oh, I don't need to lose weight. Well, it's not a weight loss product, right? Despite what the original marketing has claimed, the fact is that the majority of people are just obese. And particularly this very, very dodgy visceral fat. If you want to learn more about that, look into Dr. Sean O'Mara's work. He's the guy for visceral fat. So the truth is, the majority of us need to get rid of this fat that stores toxins. It's one of your body's primary ways of getting toxins out, pushes them into fat cells. And sometimes when you can burn that fat, there can be symptoms of that. We've seen that with people transitioning their diets as well. But it tells your body to heal. So trust the process, but before you can do that, it takes a step of faith, guys. So if you want to know more, contact me and I'll be happy to help. There's something that I really meant to say in the first video, so I'm going to add this extra bit on, which is to do with money and prosperity, because it's all part of the same message. So again, there's a kind of a prevailing view that for people to profit and to be compensated for promoting something to other people is somehow immoral or dirty or something like that. And I've really had to face those beliefs myself recently. I mean, I've pushed abundance and prosperity away, actually consciously, starting about 15 years ago. And I've had to do a lot of work to kind of come around that. But again, the prevailing worldview against direct selling, which is what we're talking about. It's about people sharing the message with other people, which is, by the way, exactly how everything was done before corporations came along. Everything, right? When you found out about something that worked or didn't work, you learned it off your tribe, off your parents, grandparents, friends. Right? This is how humans are meant to be. But now we're told, no, it has to be, FDA approved, or men in white coats, or I didn't read it in the paper, I didn't see it on the news, so it can't be real. And again, that's the world. The pharmaceutical industry is worth trillions. It's approaching the food industry, guys, which is something that you absolutely need every single day. And they haven't cured a damn thing, right? So really ask yourself if you would rather spend money at the pharmacist, right? Push that money over the counter, and for that money to go to Bayer, Monsanto, GlaxoSmithKline, Eli Lilly, all of these companies. I appreciate there's a big mix there, but do you really think that it's a bad thing for somebody who cares, for somebody who has seen results themselves and seen results in other people's lives, to stand up, put themselves in front of you and say, hey, this works, try it, right? And again, that all comes back to abundance, the abundance mindset versus the mindset of lack. The abundance of, the mindset of the Eeyore mindset of, oh, it's all terrible, it's all wrong, we're just going to get old and whatever. You can go looking for the negative if you want, or trust yourself, right? And by the way, I've spoken about this, but the company behind this, the ethos behind it, the people behind it are fantastic. I met them all last week and it's brilliant. The products are brilliant. The compensation plan is brilliant. Okay, so what we're talking about is not only the belief in people getting their health back, but people enjoying abundance materially, financially as well. And I can't begin to tell you the difference that it's making in so many lives. The stories that I heard last week at the corporate event in Vegas, oh my goodness, it's changing lives. And if you don't believe in changing lives, then give your head a wobble. Please stop thinking like livestock, like this is our fate. Just going to wait for that final bullet to the head. You don't have to do that. There is a better world out there. That's the message. That's what we're talking about. Happy Easter. See you later.